My name is St. Godric, and I think we need to get rid of all the Garbers in the game of Amtgard. Yep, you heard me right. I think we need to get rid of the Ladder Award Garber. You didn't think I meant the actual people, did you? I think we need to remove the Ladder Award Garber from Amtgard, and here's why. Can anyone tell me why Garber gets its own special ladder award when nothing else does? Ever since I started the game, I've always thought it was strange that Garber gets its own award. Weapons don't, shields don't, artwork doesn't, scrolls don't, jewelry doesn't. Why would Garber get its own award when nothing else does? Now, I've heard the argument that it's because Garb is such an integral and important part of our game. And I would agree. I think it is incredibly important to our game. I think the more Garb we have on the field, the better. It is an important part of the look and feel of the aesthetic that we're trying to go for in this game of Amtgard. But I would say that weapons are just as important. Class sashes are what differentiate us from other games because of our class system. I think those are just as important. There are a lot of other things that are as important as Garb. So why does Garb get its own specific award? So here's what I would do. I would drop Garbers entirely, and I would take the things that are normally found in Garber that are awarded to Garbers. I would split them into Dragon and Owl. Here's my reasoning for that. When I go and I judge a tunic in a Dragon Master competition, I am essentially looking at two different things. First, I'm looking at how well this thing is constructed. Owl. I'm looking at the seams. I'm looking at how well the thing is put together. If I go and I fight in this, is this tunic actually going to hold up? What's the material made of? Is it serged? Is it French seamed? All these different things that go in, but are essentially how well is this tunic constructed? The other thing I'm looking at is how pretty the tunic is. Does it have embroidery? If it does, how good is it? What about the applique? What about the colors that it's made from, the color scheme? All of those things go into the artistic beauty of the tunic. Dragons. So what I would do, I would make everything that falls on the field use, I would make that an owl. So this would be things like weapons, shields, siege weapons. This could also be any garb that is made for fighting. This could be sashes, this could be belts, this could be any garb accessory that is made to be used while you are fielding. I would then make everything that is supposed to be used off the field or going to be utilized off the field into dragons. So this would be court garb. This would be crowns that you're not going to field in. This would be everything that we normally think of as dragons, right? Jewelry and artwork and scrolls and awards and all of those things. I would eliminate Garber entirely. And let me tell you why. I think it is an incredibly confusing system that we have. One of the things when I talk to new players about why they aren't entering into ANS, one of the things that they say is it's just so confusing. They don't know where to get started. They don't know what to do. They don't know how the system works. Am I going to enter my item into the wrong category and get bad scores for it? I think anything we can do to simplify this particular aspect of Amtgard, I think would be a benefit long-term to the game. So removing one of the categories and telling people, do you plan on using this item on the field? If yes, it's an owl. If no, it's a dragon. And let them go to town. Now, for the practical implementation of this, I don't really have a dog in that fight. I don't really care too terribly much how this is done. I'm assuming that it would be similar to how Battle was rolled out, where Amtgard International and the Circle of Monarchs would put it into the rulebook, and then they'd give some guidelines, and then each kingdom would kind of do their own thing. I could see people with like 7 Garbers just getting transferred into 7 owls or 7 dragons respectively. I can see each kingdom maybe doing their own little committee and coming up with what they want to do. I think that would be great. Whatever your kingdom wanted to do to implement this, I'm all for. I just think it would be a better change overall. But I also would not get rid of the current Garbers that we have. If you were around back in 2007-ish when the award standardization came about, you would know that there were some kingdoms had different things that led to Sword Knight other than Warlord. Currently, it's just Warlord. But there was a time when there were other things, mainly Griffins and a couple of other things, that could go into that as well. So when award standardization came about, kingdoms didn't strip the Sword Knights that had their belts for things other than Warlords. They let them keep them. But all new Sword Knights had to be Warlords. I would do something very similar. I wouldn't get rid of everybody's belt that earned their belt through Garber. I wouldn't dissolve all Master Garbers. I would just make every new award from that point forward would be either Dragon or Owl. So that's my hot take. What do you think? Do you like the idea? Do you hate it? Do you appreciate the conversation that would come around it, even if you think it's a dumb idea? Let me know down in the comments below, and make sure you hit that like button if you found this entertaining, like the conversation that roll out around it. My name is Saint Godric, and I will see you next time.